Hi, welcome to Neural Search Talks by Zeta Alpha, live from SIGIR 2024 in Washington, D.C. I'm joined here by Florin Cuconasu, a PhD student from Sapienza University in Rome, who was here to deliver a very interesting paper on some of the core um, limitations in retrieval-augmented generation. Florin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
How's your SIGIR been so far?
Oh, quite amazing, I would say. So it's my first conference, and it was really cool to meet with the fellows and talk with a lot of different researchers and meet a lot of people. So yeah, it's a little hot here in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, almost 40 degrees Celsius, right?
It
And then
was
inside
crazy.
the air conditioning, very freezing.
Yeah, it's great.
What are the main sort of topics that you see emerging in this year's conference?
Yeah, I would say I look at different papers and presentations. So some of them about efficiency in information retrieval, and of course now the hot topic of large language models. So the interaction between retrievers, large language models, and RAG, of course. Yeah, what's some?
Yeah, which is also your topic, RAG, right?
Retrieval-Augmented Generation.
You can maybe tell us a little bit the story of how you came to this topic and what you actually why you investigated this.
Yeah, because we're trying to study the interaction between retrievers and large language models. So what we call now retrieval-augmented generation.
Yeah. The R in RAG and the G in RAG,
Exactly,
basically.
yeah. And so we noticed that there is the interaction between retrievers and generators probably is not ideal. So there are a lot of issues, problems, the lost in the middle problem, and so on. So we started from there, and then starting to analyze how retrievers and LLMs communicate and interact, which is basically through
the prompt, right?
Through the prompt, exactly.
By pasting all the examples or the passages
documents,
found into the prompt, and then the generator has to reason about them, right?
Yeah, and we started exactly from this and look how this interaction works, and what are the types of documents a retriever can fetch.
Yeah.
So relevant, distracting, and so on. So I'll go then into the details.
Yeah. And so what are some of the things that practitioners of retrieval-augmented generation should kind of pay attention to?
Yeah, I would say two main points from this part. So in a really practical, in practice, so when you use RAG in practice, so the first point is that relevant information should be placed close to the query in the prompt. So you have a prompt with your task instruction, the retrieve documents, and then this should be like ranked in a way that the most relevant information is placed close to the query.
Yeah.
And the second point, a really strong point, I would say, is that there are other types of documents when you retrieve that we call distracting documents. That are the ones semantically related to the query, but that don't contain the answer. And these we show that are extremely harmful to such systems. For instance, we show in the first table, when we place the gold document, the one containing the answer, and then a bunch of distracting. For instance, here we have a lot of a degradation that is about 68% from 56 to about 18. And we see that in the mid scenario, when we place the relevant information in the middle, we have the lost in the middle effect.
Right. And so you're confirming this lost in the middle effect here.
Confirming this, exactly. So so I would say that practitioners should really look at how to arrange information in the prompt, especially for this effect, right? So 60% of drop is a lot.
That's a disaster. So basically, if your query is at the top of the prompt, you can use the classical sort of ranking from the search engine, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. But if you put your query at the bottom, which is maybe a better way to get a good answer, you should basically reverse
exactly
the order of the results in the prompt.
You need the relevant is the first one close, so you have to reverse it.
Yeah. All right, that's a very nice finding. But you also discovered something which was slightly surprising, right?
Yeah, really unexpected.
Which is related to the title of your paper, The Power of Noise.
Yeah, exactly. This power, what was the power of noise in this case? So we also try another type of documents that we call random documents.
Right.
So completely unrelated information.
Yeah, just randomly picked out of the collection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So also from different corpus, so we did a lot of trial and errors with this. But yeah, you pick some documents.
Yeah, they are really not relevant for the query.
For the query.
Yeah.
And then if you place the type of documents, you in the prompt with the relevant information, so also with the
it shouldn't matter, right? But you found something even more surprising.
Yeah, it should be robust. So a language model should not be like increasing so much in accuracy. Indeed, what we show was that indeed there is an increase, so about 4% here. But I would like to highlight this other point when you use the retrieve documents. So in the first example, we use the gold document, so we know that there is a gold document. In this case, with the retrieve documents, we have a boost that is like crazy. So 35% when using, for instance, 4 retrieve documents and 15 random documents.
Yeah. So the random documents actually improve the reasoning abilities of the generating component. Is that a correct way to put it?
Yeah, could be like this. So what we observed was this, that like if you put some information that is relevant to the query and then add noise, it seems that the LLM is able to better extract the information. We also show this with the attention plot of the model. So in this case, we use the distracting documents. So in this specific plot, where it seems to be confused because there are
it's paying attention to documents that are irrelevant.
Here it answers wrong. Instead, when you use random documents, then it's like focused on the relevant piece of information.
Yeah, that's a really cool finding. Yeah. So I guess that's something that people can try out, right? If they evaluate their RAG system, just add noise, the power of noise. So how does this research kind of fit into your longer term plans and research agenda?
Yeah, because as I said at the beginning, this is my first conference and it's also my first paper. This is like the starting point of my PhD journey, I'd say. And I would say that the focus should be now on understanding how we can bridge the gap between retrievers and generators. Because we show essentially that the current interaction is not ideal. It's not optimal to do like you have passages of text and then you pass them, because there is a problem of prompt engineering. So you have to take care of which words you are using, the order, the type of document, so on. So probably we should do something different, aligning, for instance, the embedding space of these two models or other things. And I will see that this is not the only surprising aspect, because we also showed in another paper, my last paper, that using a struct version of LLMs is not optimal for every type of tasks in RAG. So I'm sure, for instance, that base models are better in accuracy with respect to instruct versions. So there's a lot of research, I would say, in this field.
Yeah, and there's the idea of fine-tuning the generative models for RAG specifically.
And probably an idea could be to fine-tune the retriever according to some scores or some ways to connect it with the reasoner, so with the LLM.
Right.
You give some reward.
And what do you think is kind of the path for this type of research as the generative models are getting stronger and stronger every month? Right? If you get a longer context, if you get more powerful, more intelligent generative models, how will that impact this interplay between retrievers and generators?
Yeah, it would be nice to see, for instance, first, if this effect, the power of noise, affects the stronger models like GPT-4 or Gemini and so on. And then there should be like more research on if makes sense to have really long context and to get so to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Or there should be other type of interactions between such systems.
Yeah. And do you believe that long context will maybe make a RAG unnecessary in some cases?
Probably in some cases, but I would say that RAG is not limited to simple question answering.
Right.
So what we usually do, we have a corpus of documents and we retrieve them. But RAG, I would say that is also really important to personalize language models to user tasks. So, for instance, you have your own data, and it's difficult to say that it's difficult to have your own data and fed all of them into our context, even if it is really big. So probably it's better to have a retrieval module that gets up-to-date information. So every day you look and see, you take picture, you do a lot of stuff. So it's difficult to every time update the context. And so probably longer contexts are not, will not solve this type of tasks, but probably others.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to see more papers from you. It's a very impressive first work at a large conference. So looking forward to see you at SIGIR next year.
Thank you.